It's Knotfest 2022, the first ever one here in Finland, and it's so good to be chatting to you here today. Am I right in saying you've been up already? I've not been able to see any bands back here.
We're playing in an hour.
In an hour, okay. How does it feel being here at the first ever Knotfest Finland?
Not only in Finland, but in the whole Nordic region, right? Am I correct?
I will say yes.
I think so. So that feels like a 1-0 for everyone who's here today. And it also feels like a great personal victory for me. Because, should I go into the story?
Please, tell me, yeah.
Okay, so 20 years, actually, not 20 years ago, Iowa was released.
Yeah.
And I saw the music, I was in 6th grade. I saw the music video coming home from school, went back to school the next day. A friend of mine said, "Did you see the music video with the guys in the weird shit?" And I was like, "Yeah, what the fuck was that?" He bought Iowa, the album, brought it to school. Then our classmates were like, "What the fuck is this weird shit?" And they wrote us off because of it. And then it was a bring a CD to school day. And it was hosted by our religion/music teacher. So it was sort of...
yes.
See where this is going?
Yes.
We had a big class of 28 pupils. And all the other children there, all the other 6th graders, they bought in NSYNC. It was fucking Britney. It was Justin Timberlake. And like the most rad shit there was like AC/DC. And then all of us, me and 2 other friends, we played 3 songs off of Iowa. And the first song that one of my friends put on was People Equal Shit. And the face.
Wow.
And the face
How
song.
old is 6th grade?
In 6th grade, yeah.
How old is that at that time?
We're like 13.
Wow, okay.
But the face of our teacher, because she was clad in all white. She was so fucking uptight, religion, I am God Christ person. She stood there shocked, and then she shut off the song mid-song, very disrespectful. And then she actually like told us off in front of the class, like, what? Like, this is not even music. Are you even understanding what all this? This is aggression. This is wrong. This is not even. And then we were like, oh, I'm sorry, miss. And then anyway, next guy. Oh, here's the heretic anthem.
Wow.
And we did this 3 times, and it was a formative moment for me, because as we sat there, and as all the people, our peers who sat there judging us, being like, what the fuck is this? Supported by our teacher who was standing there, this is wrong, this is garbage. We felt the unity, and we felt the strength in that moment to say, no, this is fucking what we like. And actually, after that class, the teacher made my dear friend, Andre, who bought the CD, she made him stay after class with her to have a serious discussion. And then she dropped his music grade with 2 entire grades.
No.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So that's my fucking personal victory to
Yes.
you, music teacher. I'm here now. Slipknot is here now. I know where you are. You do you, but you can't say that this is not music and it's not going anywhere, because fuck you.
Exactly. Do you know what thank you so much for sharing that story, because that's not what I expected from Finland. Because when you think of Finland and you don't live here, you think of I think of it as in like bands like Children of Bodom getting played on the
Right.
pop stations.
Right.
I think of it as like the most intense, heavy music all the time, and everyone's okay with it. But that's not. You still have the outcast feeling here.
There was something about Iowa, though. There was something about
Right.
Iowa
Yeah.
that was dangerous, because growing up watching the local MTV version of MTV, there was Sentence, there was Children of Bodom, there was Amorphis, all these bands. But then seeing the video for Left Behind, it made me anxious. Like, it was the image, it was all the stuff that made me feel, wow, woof, these guys are for me. And I have still Iowa is in a regular rotation for me. That is the album that I put on. Of course, the albums after that are fucking great, but still.
Wow, that's a powerful story. And so you're now...
And it's true!
And it's true. You're here, you're owning it. Medeia have been playing loads of festival shows, right? You've been busy. What have you been and taken time out to go and watch whilst you're playing at other festivals?
In general?
Yeah, because I assume tonight you'll definitely be watching Slipknot from the sound of that. Which other bands are you guys into?
A bunch of... I mean, there's almost 9 members in our band as well. No, 6. And we don't even... We have 1 percussionist. We should have more. Tesseract was playing earlier today.
Yeah, it doesn't have to just be this festival. Like any festival.
Oh.
Which are the bands that you're like, we've got to go watch them every time they play?
Well, I mean, of course, the people that we've gotten acquainted with over the years, we want to go check out like the international friends and the local national friends and stuff. But of course, the big ones, the big guns, also the interesting ones. Also, sometimes we play some festivals that are not this metal. So there's a bunch of like maybe alt rock and stuff, just electronic. I mean, we essentially are a group of just music lovers. It's Slipknot. Iowa is still the most brutal shit for me.
Yeah.
I'm not really interested in tech death. I went down that path and I came back to Slipknot. I was
Okay,
like,
good.
okay. But yeah. So really, anything that has a spirit in it and is interesting.
That's good to hear, because a lot of bands, I think, end up, when they are going to shows and there's so much metal all the time, they end up listening to music from other genres. But you're saying you still like anything with some groove in it.
Sure. And I mean, even if it might not be something that I actually would put on in the car or
Yeah.
where I'm just spazzing out somewhere, it's still something that I enjoy taking in, like
Okay.
a painting, like a form of art.
Yeah.
Like, and that's another thing that bugs me is when you tell people you're in a band and they're like, oh, I see, what kind of music is it? And then they're like, oh, it's metal. And then people they say, oh, well, that's not really my thing, but like you do you. Who the fuck says that if you say like, oh, I'm a trained like classical pianist?
Yeah, that's
and they're
true.
like, oh, that's not. I don't like that at all. Like,
That's really
that's not
true.
my thing. That also annoys me.
That's a really good point.
It's bullshit.
It's a bit like, I've got a small dog. When people come to my house, they always say, I hate small dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I don't come to your house and tell you I hate your
Exactly.
family, so...
Right. That's sort of the same thing that like small dogs and the metal genre are things that people like to look down on, even
Yeah.
though there's nothing wrong with this. But
So what's your comeback? What do you say to people?
I often I don't need to make a comeback because I've already done the foreplay.
And the great thing is, you come to places like this.
Look at
where
my
you-
hat.
Nice. It says, fuck y'all.
Hey, fuck y'all.
Fuck y'all. You come to a place like this, and it is like a community, and it is like a family, and you've got that all around you. Now, with your band, I feel like you're a band who've been working at it very hard for a long time, making amazing music. Tell
Thank
us
you, then.
what you've been up to in the past few months.
The past few months have been like a sort of a reactivating our band life and Medeia life because COVID came, obviously, but we and forced everyone to take a break, and we prolonged that break. Sort of, we weren't
Did
in a
you?
hurry to get back just right when the stages open. We gotta go. We all appreciated the time to be able to focus on other stuff. Some people in the band made their other music. Other people just hung out. We bought a house in the countryside. That's all we want to do. I'm also, by the way, a teacher in early education. So when I'm not super passionate about this, I'm super passionate about that. So, you know, I'm just generally passionate about everything I do. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you were just taking it easy and coming back to music in your own timetable.
Yeah. I mean, I joined the band 8 years ago, but we're actually in our 20th year this summer.
Wow.
So these are our 20th anniversary shows. So we have a backlog of songs and albums that fans like. And the way of the times is that maybe, you know, we release a new track here and a new track there. And sure, we're going to make an album, probably, but, you know, no one knows.
No one knows when. That's good. A little bit of mystery. So you've toured with quite a few different bands.
Uh-huh.
And you were saying your international friends. What would you say is your favorite story? What's the one that you tell at the dinner table?
Oh, good
Where you're like,
question.
This
because
one time.
I don't tell these stories at dinner table.
Wow.
I don't care about. That's also. I have ADHD. Wow, surprise. But I find a perk of that is that I'm totally in the moment.
Yeah.
But what I've done yesterday is not. It's not relevant to me the next day.
Right.
Right. So when I go back to work teaching 4 and 5-year-olds, and my colleagues know that I've been at a metal festival, and they're like, so how was it? And I'm like, it's fine. Anyway, let's do this now. It's I also, I don't know. It's sort of a Finnish thing. Also, it's like you're not
Is it?
allowed to bring forth your your successes in life. You're supposed to like own it and don't fuck up. People will point out if you fuck up, but also don't brag about stuff you've done.
I feel like the English are kind of the same, but I feel Finland's like more down the line on that one. Yeah, you've got to really, no bragging.
Definitely. I mean, there's a bunch of cool stories, though. A lot of them are not directly related to me being on the show. But I also got to say, this is something I learned during COVID. Not drinking as much is 100,000 times better.
That is the one, yeah.
Because I remember a time I was invited on Max Cavalera's tour bus.
Wow.
This is like 10 years ago. Too bad the only thing I remember from that tour bus is that the carpet on the floor was the same kind of carpet that we had on the floor in elementary school. Like, that's what my drunk brain remembered.
Wow.
Sure, I had a conversation with them probably, but I stood there and I was like, oh, that's my memory of the next day. And the same thing with hanging out with people from Gojira, who I know through mutual friends in Car Bomb, is like, I'm going to meet the guys, and then I know that I've been there for like 2-3 hours. The next day, I wish I would have remembered what the fuck would have gone on. So
all of your best stories are deep in the depths of your drunken memory somewhere, but not available to recall.
I believe they happened. I'm pretty sure they did.
You could have sat here and told us anything, and we would have believed it.
Oh, right.
So what would you say? I mean, you talked about Iowa. Would you say that's the album that got you into rock?
Oh, no, it wasn't.
What was the album that got you into rock?
The album. Okay, here's my favorite plug. When we played in Poland just before COVID, we did a tour in Poland. So when I was 5 years old, my dad brought me and my brother a cassette tape of a Polish thrash band called Turbo.
Right, okay.
Turbo. And the cassette was called, or the album was called The Last Warrior. And when we put that on in the tape record, it's amazing. It's got like, it's basically a blend of, it's released in '87, so it's a blend of Master of Puppets, Slayer, Maiden, all kinds of amazing shit. It is awesome.
Sounds amazing.
Turbo, The Last Warrior. So that's actually, when I was 5-6 years old, my brain got like introduced to those really, really harsh vocals and stuff, and I knew that was what I immediately enjoyed. And then when Rage Against the Machine came around and I heard more like aggressive stuff on the radio, I knew that this is it. And then like the next level thing for me, I think, was Iowa, because that was the next time that I heard something that was just like, wow.
Yeah, it's hard to go straight in at Iowa. What can you teach us, for anyone who's watching now who hasn't been to Finland, for me who's sat here and this is my first time here, what would you say are like things that people need to know when they don't come from Finland, that they do come here and visit? What are things we need to know to be respectful?
With all due respect, sometimes it's really hot here, like today.
Okay.
I didn't want to dress like a look at me, I'm a man I don't even have much to show. But still, I had to switch into like a sleeveless instead of a t-shirt because it's really hot today. And no one thinks it's hot in Finland. And then you also think, oh, is it like the cold in the winter? And as Finns love to say, oh, our Finnish winters are so cold. Oh, yeah, it's snow for half of the fucking year. No, it's not. Maybe upwards in Finland, actually. I don't know. I'm not an expert on Finland. I'm just from here.
Yeah, okay, well, that's fine. That is fine. And it is a beautiful place. It's great to have Knotfest here this year, and hopefully this is just the first of many.
Yeah, I mean, the scenery around here is awesome. The trees, the fields.
The Christmas trees everywhere. There are Christmas trees everywhere.
Christmas trees?
There are Christmas trees everywhere.
They are.
So what have you guys got coming up as a band? What have you got coming forward? I know you've been taking it slow.
We've got a show coming up in an hour, less than an hour. And whatever happens after that, I don't even care. I don't know what day it is. It's like, I can't wait for this show. I can't wait to see Slipknot. And then I guess we have more shows in the future along the way. I guess we're making more music, but I'm so hyped right now for Knotfest today that it's like, I don't know. We're going to keep going for another 40 years probably.
Very quickly as well, if one of the kids came to you and said, I want to listen to some heavy music, what song would you tell them to put on?
From whom?
From Slipknot as one of your favorites. Would you tell them to go in at People Equal Shit?
No. No. I'd say, you know what? Put on Volume 3.
Okay.
The subliminal verses. Listen through that. If you haven't heard this sort of music before, rest assured there's going to be some pretty stuff in there that you like, and then you can just sort of like cherry pick. this sort of
That's
stuff you
clever.
want.
It's
Right.
like going with some Vermilion, for example, but like
Oh, yeah.
the part 2.
Right.
So it's nice and slow.
Now fuck it, the part 1 is
And then do the
soft
first
enough.
bit.
Yeah. It's just a fucking great album. Wow.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much
I'm
for
not
chatting
even
to us here.
paid by Knotfest or
No.
Slipknot because they're very good.
But you are their biggest fan, as am I, as is a lot of people here, I think. So we are amongst friends.
Right.
Thank you so much for chatting to us here at Knotfest.
Thank you so much. Wow.
We'll catch you again soon.
You will.
All right, thank you.
See ya.